Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One, and tonight we about to hit it, y'all. This foreign invasion that we going through, and nobody's saying nothing. All the Negroes have been turned into foreigners, so they're just being walked all over. Here's three of us that haven't been, we're not foreigners. We're the indigenous people of America, and we're here to let you know what's going on. Joining me tonight from the Accomack, Ms. Lyra Cypress, and from Chi-Town, Michael MC Hampton. What's going on, homie? You guys hit it. I'm going to find that image, and I'm going to come right back.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it. The other day you linked me up on a site on Facebook that is on the surface it looks like an Aboriginal and indigenous Indian site, right? But then as you start
Right.
to look a little deeper, it's a Moor site, right? And so evidently the Moors, which I try to embrace people from where they're at. I try to keep an open mind on things. That's my stance in life. Try. However, I do know I had to join the site in order to make a comment because they were pretty much claiming that all Indians are Moors. Like all of America is Moorland and the Indians are the Moors. And last year, or really not even last year, we can even just roll back 9 months. The Indians were ridiculous. We were lying. We didn't want to be African. We were making all this stuff up. We didn't really have any real genealogy. All this stuff was being said about all these different people talking about our indigenous history. We were being made a mockery of by Moors because we didn't claim our true African heritage. But now, not only are they claiming to be Indians, American Indians, but they claiming that all American Indians are actually Moors. How do you go from thinking the Indians are a fallacy, a fake, a fraud, to then claiming that you are that, to then saying that all Indians are you? Like, I'm like, okay, you really are pirates. The Moors are pirates. They're known to be pirates. They're known to go into foreign lands and just rob people. They're stick-up kings. That's what they're known for. They go all over the world, all over the globe for centuries and centuries, and they take over lands. And they take over the culture, the riches, the everything. They change up. They change the game. They do that everywhere. They try to do it with us. It didn't work. So then they just sold us out to the Europeans. They were like, okay, let me show you these people. Let me give you the maps. Let me show you where they got stuff at. Because they couldn't conquer America. They couldn't take over. They couldn't invade America. They couldn't invade us. They couldn't infiltrate us. So now, even after all of what they've done to try to be us, they're still trying to be us. Now, let me be honest about the Moors. I think some of these people, like I've talked to people that I know are Accomack Indians. And I said, look, you're an Accomack Indian. I've talked to them two years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago. I've talked to several people. I said, you're an Accomack Indian. You absolutely have the genealogy. Well, no, I'm sorry. I am a Moor. I'm comfortable being a Moor. I'm like, what? You are a real Indian. You have a real history with your ancestors. You have a connection to the soil, to the land. And you are comfortable being a Moor, which has no connection to anything? I don't understand that at all. But that's how deep the more thinking has gotten into people. And I understand why it has impacted people the way it has, because the Moors have offered a legal protection to people that they haven't seen anywhere else. They offer a status that they feel protected and they feel covered in a way that you can't feel as an African American or a black, or even, as far as they know, being an Indian. So, I mean, they feel importante being a Moor. I understand that. However, this was something that Noble Drew Ali invented when he found out that the indigenous, being able to claim you are a Indian, was disappearing. They were slamming down on the Negro, and the Negro couldn't claim dual status or Indian status at all. So he was trying to find a means of protecting the Negro in this messed up society called messed up corporation called the United States. He was doing a good thing. He grew up Indian. He grew up with his Indian family.
That's what I know. I don't know, but that's what I know. So I
He
get
grew
you.
up
I
with
get
his
you.
right. You heard that, right? Right, Mike?
Yes, 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 yes.
Do you know I got into argument just like the other week or maybe the other month with a Moor that said, "Oh no, Noble Drew Ali wasn't. He wasn't raised by Indians. He wasn't raised on a reservation. He didn't have an Indian family. He wasn't an Indian." What? You wrote a whole book about Noble Drew Ali. You consider yourself a scholar and you don't know his history? Like, how does that work? How is one a scholar of Moorism, and you don't know about your own Moor leader? That that makes no sense to me.
So Lisa, as far as you know, because I'll give my definition. What is a Moor? Define it what you understand. I'm gonna give mine.
Well, I think a Moor's the definition of a Moor is going to change with the time that you're looking at. Okay, so like if you're looking at from the 1900 from the 1890s till now, you're looking at the Moorish temple, which is a manufactured identity, right? The Moorish temple is a manufactured identity. It's not. It's really not real, but it was based on real events in history, which actually was able to protect provide a form of protection for the Negro. And I think it was a wonderful thing. And I think Noble Drew Ali was a genius for even thinking of that. However, although he didn't, from what I understand, he's not the one who first thought of it. But you know, whatever the case, it's a great idea, and for it to have worked all the way from the late 1800s to today is outstanding. Like, that's crazy. However, the real truth of the matter is, what people forget is that there's some, I don't know if you believe the Bible, I don't know what you believe, but there is something to honoring your
Oh,
father
he
and mother.
believes the Bible. Oh yeah, he believes that.
Well,
Oh,
there's something to honoring your mother and father. There's something to honoring your ancestors. Whatever your belief, your spiritual belief, your whatever it is, there's something to honoring your ancestors. And when you do things like I say to you, I know you're an Accomac, your genealogy shows it, and you say, no, I'm comfortable being a war. When you say stuff like that, you are dishonoring your own damn people. How is that okay for you to say, sorry, great grandma, I ain't that. I'm something else. I'm changed. I'm putting a BL on my name or a Bay on my name or L on my name, and I'm something else now. How is that honoring your family, your people, your roots, your bloodline? I don't understand. People don't understand the power of connecting yourself to yourself, connecting yourself to your people. They think that shit's a joke. They think they can sit up there and just, play Legos with their life and just build a block, build a life. I'm just gonna be a build a bear and make myself. No, you can't build a bear yourself. You're going to be some shit because that's not what you are. You are more than that. You're constructed from so many different people. And by you connecting yourself with those people and aligning yourself with those entities, those powers, those souls, that's how you become the greatest thing you can be. By disconnecting yourself from all those souls that empower and make you, you make yourself less than. People don't get
But
it.
Lisa, no, they don't get it. But Lisa,
Hmm.
not to say that you don't get it, but I was raised since Noble Drew Ali, not me per se,
Yeah.
but I know they were raised in that Moorish type temple, Baptist church, all this stuff. It's kind of hard to get your mind corrected.
Okay.
So when we come back at people, look, brother and sister, come on.
Right.
Because I asked them, show me a date that the word more, that MOOR or MUUR, whatever y'all made up or however it was going, show me the earliest date of it in written history. They can't give it to me. They're trying to sidetrack. I know I got them. Stop the BS. Okay, I understand. I get it and understand that Negroes from Africa came over here. You ain't the indigenous motherfuckers. I mean, I don't mean to cuss. You're
That's
not
fine.
the indigenous people from over here. No.
Right.
And everybody gets to screw you all. That makes you, from the mother heritage. Man, today, people come from other countries. Why ain't we screwing one another today? Well, but it's not going on like so many stories are claiming we were just throwing down. I mean, just oh shit,
Right.
coochie going on, or he's going on. I gotta get me some of that. A lot of BS is written, and
Right.
we'll gravitate to it and
Right.
take it and run with it. So
Right.
I understand there was people from the other continent coming over here, and it wasn't going on like that. You
Right.
have no evidence of it. It's just written shit that we'll gravitate to.
Right.
So when I asked what is a Moa, you gave me the definition. Mine is, it's so ambiguous. I done found out it can mean any doggone thing.
That's true.
But they want to say anybody with brown skin. Man,
Right.
get the freak out of here with that old monkey mess, man.
Right.
You just scared to probably fight for your own land. And you know you got punk in your heart. But you'll fight me, won't you, for saying it? You ain't gonna fight that cracker, huh?
No.
You know where you from. So my
Well, I mean,
definition of more is so
in
ambiguous.
truth, they may not, and a lot of people, in truth, like let's have and I like the way you're talking. I understand the compassion thing because I try to have that as well, and I do understand a lot of the attraction of the Moors is a disconnect from your daddy, a disconnect from your mama, a disconnect from your cousins, your people. A lot of the people that are very attracted to the Moors have a disconnect from their families. They don't really know where they're from. And so being able to have like a gang, it's like a gang to claim is a powerful thing, right? You're one of the misfit toys. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be rude and call them a misfit toy. That's kind of rude.
No,
However, but it is, but that is, huh?
No, it's not. Because I think you guys are giving too much love. And these cats know what they doing. They lying.
They're lying. They are lying.
They're not the problem. It's the dumbasses that believe that stupid shit.
Yeah, but see, those are the misfit toys. And the misfit toys, they're drawn to these crazy, messed up, fucked up leaders because they're broken. Because they missing pieces, they missing answers, and these damn assholes are providing them with answers that make them feel whole again. And that's unfortunate.
How are they
yes,
answered?
indeed.
How are they answered? Because I still have questions.
Well, see, you know what? Guess what? When you don't know nothing, it don't take a lot to fill in your blanks. You see what I'm saying? when you don't know nothing, like I don't know my daddy, I don't know who my mama is, I don't know, when you don't know nothing, I really not sure where my people are from. It don't take much.
And we have to give respect to some of that because there are a lot of orphans.
There are
I
a lot
did
of people
research and I
that
found
have that story.
they don't know.
Okay?
So yeah, they will gravitate to things that
Right.
we just in hotels. I can
Right.
dig it.
Or people
But don't
that
try to
have
come around
families.
telling everybody else
Right. Or
they are
people that
too.
have
That's
broken
what I'm saying.
families where they
You don't
don't
know.
want to
Hey,
be. They don't want to claim their family because their family has caused damage. They've caused hurt. They've caused whatever, abuse. So they don't want to claim the folks that they so-called come from. That's not something that brings them pride. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. You could know your family, but you don't want to know your family. Okay, so a lot of these people are vulnerable, and that's what draws them into these kind of situations. And uh and they don't want to think about it too deep, because if they think about it too deep and they question it, then it all falls apart, right? Then they have nothing again.
But you just said they can go. They can find their parents. They can find their brothers. They can
Well,
find.
I say that to them because I nobody's really offered that to them, and they they can find now today. There's not an excuse for you to be the misfit tour, because there are people that can help you find your people, and you might find some people that you actually like. You know what I mean? And so, why are you claiming to be from some kind of Moorish land which doesn't exist, this phantom of existence? Okay, these people that are really just virtual pirates. They're virtual pirates now, and they
it
were
don't
actual
exist.
pirates in the
Lisa, it
past.
don't exist. Morris land, it doesn't exist. They
Where's
told me
mm,
somewhere more the Bible, it exists. You don't
okay?
want to believe.
They now are trying to claim that they're Washingtons and they're Muirs and they're this and that. They're trying to claim all kinds of stuff, and they don't have no genealogy connecting them to that land. They have no daggone records connecting to that daggone area of the country, and then they try to take that little inkling of information, which is not even anything. It doesn't mean anything, because guess what? There are names that sound the same. You're gonna find an MUR somewhere in daggone the middle of the Pacific. You're gonna find it in the middle of Ireland. You're gonna find a MUR all over the place, because guess what? That's a common. An MU word is not unusual. Okay, let's be real. Let's stop being crazy. Okay, stop taking everything that sounds like MO or MU or anything that starts with an M and trying to claim that's you. That's crazy. You can't. That makes no sense. Okay, and then the fact that you're gonna hate on somebody so hard that you're gonna degrade our genealogy, degrade our existence, degrade our identity. Just 9 months earlier, 6 months earlier, you trying to cut up our damn ancestors. Now you trying to claim that you got the same ancestors. How do you do that? How do you make us switch that motherfucking fast? How do you justify that shit? That's just crazy. You know what? I hate that shit. You know why I hate that shit? Because everybody does that shit. Everybody wants to separate and put us down until they find out who we really are. Now, today, let me put it like this. Everybody does it. Today, I got pissed off because I get these patients, and I got a compliment. I got a nice letter from a Cuban patient, and I love all my patients. I treat all my patients with a lot of love, but I fucking hate it when people act like they can't speak English and they can't. I fucking
I've been through it. All right.
And they do that.
I've
And you
been
know
through
what?
it.
If you're a fucking
You
Cuban,
hand some of these to them.
you
Me
speak
understand.
motherfucking
I know
English,
you understand.
because you've
Yeah, I
been
know.
here for a fucking long time, and you didn't daggone hop over. You didn't go tunnel across the daggone, Mexico into Texas. You fucking came on a fucking inner tube or a boat. You came here intentionally, and you came here with daggone being prepared for this shit. Okay, so how the fuck don't you speak English? You've been here since the 1940s and 50s. Fuck you. Stop lying. You know why they do it though? They do it for the same reason the Native Americans don't want to join a war. The Native Americans don't want to go to college because they don't want to be classified colored. The same reason. That's why they keep and hold on to the fucking Hispanic shit. The Spanish language, why they hold on to it? It's a shield against being a nigga. It's a shield against being a nigga. Because they sit up there and they be like, I speak Spanish. I don't speak no English. Okay, that's their shield, right? That's their shield.
Yeah.
It has no other purpose. They worry that they ain't going to get the good treatment if they a nigga. So the first thing they do is, I speak no English. I Spanish. They want to separate themselves from the niggas. That's the main purpose of that shit.
I want to get
But Lisa, I have a question to ask. Let me ask you my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
When we use the term Mexican, what does that mean? Because they are Spanish whites, and I mean white, Caucasian. They are the original Spaniards that infiltrated that part, and some of them got some of the indigenous humiliated coochie. I got to put it that way, shit. Or I'm trying to not cuss. Well, they got some black DICK. They're women.
Yeah.
So what my point is, it's a lot of them got Negro in their blood. So, a lot of them won't admit it.
Yeah.
Because I guess they kept on mixing on with their old counterparts and keeping the light skin going on.
Right. So
the Mexican is nothing but the Spaniard. Oh shit. Oh, forget it. I had a better argument. I had a question. I'll leave it alone. But I know who the indigenous people down in Mexico, down in Bolivia, and right here in our own North America. And if you go to Canada, god dog it, the niggas, and I'm using that term, I mean Negroes. Should I how you say it?
What?
I don't want this flag at all. But I know the Negro is what they call us, so that's what their term, they like it. We've always been the freak all over the globe. But you want to share the same genetics or the same phenotype or the same bloodline.
Well, the common theme has been to not get caught up in the oppression of the Negro. That's the common.
And the cigarette, we harvest tobacco. The man smoking on camera, you doggone right. We harvest it. Be quiet. This is our thing. This is an American thing. We harvest this. I'm shut up. Shut up. All right, Lisa. All right.
Okay, let's get back on focus. So basically,
on focus.
We got all these people. We got the Kamala thing, right? We got the calamity that we have going to the White House, right? We had Obama, and now
before we get into this, let's just kill this more shit right now.
Okay, let's kill it.
And then we'll move on to the calamity thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you sent me a few months ago.
Right.
Mike, could you kind of like stop making the noise because it's killing the sound.
I'm not making any noise.
Just kill.
I'm not making no. I got a fan on. That's all I got. I'm not making any noise.
When you move around, it's the noise. That's what it is.
I'm not even moving around. If I pop this, it's not moving around. It's just something going on with, I guess, the feature. I'm not doing the doggone thing.
When you move your hands, that's what it is.
You sent me this a couple of months ago, and this is from a book. What year was this book?
1612.
This is the book from 1612, and you can tell from the way they spelled that the spelling, they really hadn't got into the American English yet. They're spelling the way they spell when they got over here.
Right.
So this is something I just want to share with the chat, with the audience, to let them know that the Moors are something way over somewhere else across the world. And I want to share this with you guys so you can see for your own self. Now, Lisa just told you this was from 1612. Now, check
Right.
this out. Their
Right.
hair is black, gross, long, and thick. And if you look how they spell hair, Hyre, it's obvious like it's not how we spell it now.
Right.
If you look at gross, if you look at long,
Mm-hmm.
this is why that Willie Lynch letter is bullshit, y'all. And this is what I mean, the syntax that was used back then. You can't use 1980 syntax to write a letter back in the 1600s. It don't work, but we don't know that. I just want to share this with you. Their hair is black, gross, long, and thick. The men have no beards. Their noses are broad and flat, full at the ends, great big lips, and wide mouths, yet nothing so unsightly as the Moors.
Right. Right. Now,
What-
if we were the same people as the Moors, why would William Strachey, one of the first leaders of this colony in Virginia, why? And he's like the Secretary of State, mind you. Okay. Why would he say, okay, this is how they look, but they're not as ugly as the Moors? Okay. Why would he contrast and compare if we're the same? They would know we were the Moors if we were the Moors. He wouldn't there wouldn't be no comparing because we'd be the Moors, right? So this whole argument that people are making, that they have no data for, they have no primary sources for, it's bullshit. This document in itself makes you a fucking liar. It's total bullshit. This is 1612. They just got there. They just got there. There's nothing earlier that you could cite to refute this. You got nothing. You have nothing. Because from the jump, they are saying, look, this is how they look. But they're not as ugly as the Moors, though. They're not as ugly as the Moors. And they're not like calling this Moorish land or these Moorish people. Or they would have said, you know what? These are a different type of Moorish people. That's what he would have said if he thought this was Moorish land and that these were Moorish descendants or relatives. He did not do that. He contrasted and compared. Period. That means there's a difference. That means they ain't the same damn people. Period. So what I want to say to the Moors is you need to do your genealogy. If you're a fucking Moor, your land is in Europe, Africa, Arab, the Berber Arabs, wherever. You're in Morocco, you up in there. You are, because they were all over Europe. Okay. So you could be in Germany, you could be all over the place. Okay. You could be Dutch, Berber, okay. You could be all over, okay? But you ain't American. You're not. And yeah, you might have came through here, but it's obvious we didn't let you infiltrate, and you didn't, okay? And the same way the Africans come over here today, and they don't be all up in our damn communities. They don't. They're not, okay? We don't mix like that. They don't mix with us, and we don't mix like that with them. It's not like that. Our tendency is we'll mix with a white person before we'll mix with an African, and the same with them. But really less with them, but more with us. But we ain't mixing like that. So that fucking bullshit that we was all kumbaya-ing and we're a tricolor race, that's a fucking lie. Because patterns of behavior exist amongst people. And if the Africans would come over here and joining in war, then they would do so now. If the Africans were coming over here and marrying up into our families, they would do so in throngs now. But the first thing they do is stay the hell away from us. That's the first thing they do. Lisa, the only reason they come by us is if we got something they want to take. They are predatory, parasitic in how they come over to America. I can tell you that's a fact. And they may not like hearing it, but we've always seen it. They don't come into our communities and try to build up our schools and try to daggone say, oh, like let's fight for better education for the Negro and the Africans. No, they don't do that. They go to the white neighborhoods and go to the best daggone schools they can find, and then they come to our HBCUs and suck up all our scholarships. That's what they do, and all our seats away from our people. And we give it to them. And we give it to them. Moors, what are you but a daggone European African? That's all you are. What are you saying that you are? And why are you saying that you're something that your family has not proven you to be? That's like me saying I'm a Scottish or a Viking and I don't know my damn history or my genealogy. I mean, you might as well call yourself Bozo the Clown. What are you doing? You're claiming something that is imaginary. It's not a real thing. You have to prove your connection to being a Moor. It can't just be a sorority, fraternity, or a daggone gang. It's because you cannot claim that as an actual identity that way. And it's really like, it's just like a daggone, it's belonging to a lodge. Like your Fred Flintstone. That's what the Moor is like. It's like the Grand Poobah or whatever, belonging to the lodge like Fred and Barney. That's what a Moor thing is. That's not an identity. That's not an actual, that's not a race. And then they say things to us like, oh, American Indian is not a race. Well, boo, why is it on the daggone census then? Why is it on the daggone Social Security card? Why is it everywhere? And why did they take Native American off the damn census? Tell me about that. Why did they remove it? I don't know what them people are putting down.
So let's get into the Kamala Harris thing. So this week, I mean, a lot of feathers were ruffled with the Kamala Harris thing. What's your views on that? How she came in, like you said, through the HBCUs. How when she gave her speeches, she was talking about black and we, us. How she molded her way in, and the so-called black people who claim to be Greek, all these Negroes who always want to be something else, they just let her in. But now they're pissed off because one of them wasn't picked. Could you hit on that?
We've been drinking some sleepy time tea. We have been drinking some sleepy time tea. We have fallen to sleep. How in the hell? I know. I understand. The 80s was, hey, let's wear pastels and party. Woo, let's be like Fresh Prince. Life is good. We were lullabied into feeling like we could live. We were living the American dream, and everything was kumbaya okay in the world. Okay, we can act like pseudo white people. We can create our own little chocolate version of what they do. Why we wanted to create a chocolate version of what they do? Because what they want us to do is worship them. That's why these universities were started. That's what they want us to do. They wanted to set us up to worship them, to emulate them. And we have. And we have all these generations, hundreds of years of overseers who's taught us to worship these people who have invaded our land. So we joined these sororities and we play the same reindeer games that the oppressor plays. And then we use that as a sign of who's superior. Well, if you belong to the right sorority fraternity, then you are the elite. We become bourgeoisie based upon all these little checks we have in our lives. Okay, so we have a whole society of bourgeoisie who have belonged to certain social groups, Jack and Jill, and AKAs and blah blah blah. That's our status, right? We've created all this pseudo status, right? And it means nothing. And all we did was keep ourselves buried. We buried our head in the sand over some bullshit. Copying off of them and not even embracing ourselves at all. Having a make-believe life while they were planning that all the not even like they were planning, because all the while we're joining sororities and fraternities, crack is happening and it's killing us. Heroin happened and it's killing us. Heroin came again. We're being put in jail. All our cousins are going to jail, but we belong to the AKAs. But yeah, I got 6 cousins in jail. Woo! I'm an AKA though.
So what do you think that says to them when they're letting all these foreigners? Because Obama was one, and we know when Obama ran for president, Negroes lost their mind.
When I was in school in the 80s, I applied. I found out about a Black Nurses Association, right? And I told a friend, indigenous person, and also a Kenyan. Okay. Now, Kenyans and all these other Nigerians were pouring into Texas at the time because Texas, the climate, I don't know what, it attracts a lot of people from Africa, the continent. So anyway, I told him about it, and I was busy. I was doing stuff and whatever, and I just kind of was, I told him, and we were looking for the date of they had some kind of meeting they were going to have, and those damn motherfuckers went to the meeting and didn't tell me about it and got the scholarship, and I did not, because I didn't know about the daggone meeting that they went to secretly when I told them about the shit in the first place. So let me tell you, okay. They want to give stuff to the Kenyans. They want to give stuff to the Nigerians. We as a people, because we worship the motherland, we want to put them on a pedestal. The world, we have no value or see no worth in ourselves. And it has our sense of insecurity and our lack of self-esteem is devastating. Is devastating. And you have people that want to keep that thing going by saying that your life matters and you should pity yourself because a white man can put a knee on your neck and you'll die instantaneously. Did you put a daggone knee on a Negro's, a big motherfucking Negro's neck, and you'll die instantaneously? Bullshit. Not only that, the world believes that Negroes are dying of this COVID. We're so weak, we die instantly because we got comorbidities and shit. Fuck y'all. Do you understand? We got 106-year-old people still thriving and kicking all over the fucking damn all over this damn continent. We got centennials all over the fucking place. And they ain't not a bit sick, and they got their full faculties. We got a lot of them. Okay? And the majority of people dropping from the damn Novid ain't us. But they want it to be us, so they keep saying that it's us. They keep saying that it's us. Meanwhile, all these other daggone people who are trying to avoid identifying with us or being mistaken for us are dying in droves. They're dying. So what are we going to do? First of all, we gotta let these fucking traitors, we gotta put them on notice. The ones in our family, you are a freaking bourgeoisie. You are a bourgeoisie, social political overseer. You are trying to get people in the family to vote for daggone things they shouldn't be voting for and believing shit that's bullshit. And you sitting up there going to your damn Greek meetings and spewing a bunch of shit that's going to keep us oppressed forever. So while you get a check for being a coon, we got to call our own people out. We got to let Oprah and all these motherfuckers and daggone Jay-Z and fucking Beyonce and all the fucking bullshit motherfuckers that we ain't going for the bullshit no more. You can't fuck us around anymore. It's not acceptable for you to daggone play, daggone step and fetch it for us. We're not gonna have no Bill Cosby chastising us publicly like it's fucking okay. And now what we gonna have? Some daggone a T.I.? Excuse me, sir. But you have no authority over anything. You can't even keep your ass out of jail. So what the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna be like a black, spokesperson. Who does that? Who does that? We need to start checking these people immediately. We need to check our families and check these people. Stop being ignorant and stop thinking we're ignorant and we're not falling for it. And we need to publicly speak out. We need to also check them on their fucking sites. When you see them, comment on it. Comment it on daggone Instagram. Comment it on Facebook. Let them know we ain't standing for it. It's okay for us to talk to each other, but that's just to each other. They need to know we see them. That daggone Ava, whatever, that daggone director that ain't worth shit anyway. She's not a great director. She just got blessed by Oprah. Okay, there's a lot of talented motherfucking people in this daggone community that are not getting any kind of gain in this damn world. Her pinky ain't get, people got more in their pinky than she got in her whole fucking body. She ain't got no talent. She just got daggone, she just ate the right pussy. Give me a break.
Ooh, yeah, they don't do that. They don't eat pussy. Oprah don't eat no pussy.
Yeah, sure they don't. And so we're sitting up there, and now, I mean, now you watch television. Oh my God, you can't watch it without them trying to torture you and poison your children. Like I saw this daggone thing on HBO. I'm sitting here in the hotel and I'm like, why? And they are portraying in the 1960s, this damn bar owner's getting his dick sucked outside. And the nigga goes up to him and he don't even act like anything happened when he saw it. Let me tell you something. First of all, that shit wasn't flying like that in the 1960s. First of all, yeah, they knew they had gay people, but people didn't sit up there and get their dick sucked in the damn alley. Come on. They trying to desensitize you and open up your daggone mind to things you shouldn't even be exposing your children, yourself to at all. The more you see things, the more you want to try different things. They know what the fuck they're doing. I'm tired of them manipulating people's minds and people acting like they don't know what's happening.
So, Lisa, you're talking now where John Lewis just passed. And every time, I'm sorry I said his name because now I want to throw up. But now that civil rights, what we've seen with the civil rights movement did, and now it's passed down to the children of the civil rights. What direction should we be headed in? What do you think we should be headed in?
God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Because we've already screwed up. Because we already did that whole 90s thing where we like, hey, New Jack Swing, everything's gonna be all right. Everything's good. We already did that. And then we raised these New Jack Swing babies who are like, yeah, we got it. It's all good. And they're not even deep thinking. They're not even wanting to really deep think because you know why? It messes with them. They don't want to think, oh, that's negative. That's negative. They don't want to lose. They don't want to think about losing. They don't want to think about what's real because it's negative. So we have a generation of people who aren't really prepared for what's really happening in the world right now. And these people fucking have kids. Yeah. What about that? What do you do with these grown people that we have raised that are like, they're thinking about Nikes. They're collecting Nikes and shit. And we're in the most fucked up world situation that you can imagine. And they're collecting Nikes and fucking figurines like, oh, everything's okay in the whole damn world. And they're raising kids and thinking like they don't understand that. I don't even think 6 to 10 months down the road, what the fuck's gonna be happening. They have no clue.
Mike, you want to say something?
I just wanted to reiterate on the Moors that I found a documentary that ex-President Lincoln, he represented a Moor, Moor, how you spell it. And he was trying to tell the judge for whatever crime he did, he's not a Negro. Well, the Negro, you all both know the Negro is in the American treaty, the word there. And the judge was saying, wait. The word Moor, not a Negro. I don't want to really try to. I'll post it, but I don't really want to try to feed into it. But we ain't Moors. Whatever happened over there and brought over here, of course. All niggas, Negroid people ain't the same. Lincoln was defending his client. His client was from over there, the Eastern Hemisphere. He did something fucked up over here. From what I understand, even Lincoln had some nigga in his blood.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand a lot of things. But anyway, I'll post it, but we ain't no goddamn Moors. I don't have nothing against people from Africa. Got nothing for them either. But they've shown me here in Chicago and they ain't got nothing for me. Huh? So we just got a lot of color around the world. Don't mean they're the same. We ain't the same people. We're all trying to get ours, I guess. But we're going to get ours here. It's going to be a war. Again. It's going to be a war. The Yamasees Wars was nothing compared to what's coming on. It's going to be one. If I don't live to see it, I got 4 boys. They ain't punks. I hope they live to do enough. Not to their own. Not to their own, because I was down the street earlier, and these boys was when they put on Chicago that we're maybe the worst capacity of gang, whatever. They're not really lying. They're not, but they put a little bit in it. Anyway, that's what I had to say.
But really, a lot of this gang stuff and all this stuff is because people are lost and people don't have anything else. If people would wake up and if people really knew the greatness of who they are and where they come from and who they're connected to and everything like that, it would give us a strength and a power. It would give us something to move forward with that we've never had before. You know, stretching your imagination across the ocean to Africa and then having nobody from Africa look for you or really embrace you or even want you to play in their reindeer games when they come into your country and take all your shit is not going to fortify us. It doesn't fortify us. But knowing the all these contributions that we made in this country was because we are of this land. And all the contributions we made in this country has put the world up on fire. We have financed the success and the growth of the entire planet. If not for America, the whole world would have been in the gutter. If not for the American indigenous, the whole world would be a daggone slum. They were broke down in Europe. They were broke down in Africa. The only people who had it popping was us. And that's why they all came here. And that's why they all continue to come. Now, why can't we get that figured out?
Yeah, that's something I'm not getting. We're seeing all these people. If you look at the world, you have Europe, Africa, and Asia over here. You have America here, yet we're full of Asians. Yet we're full of Europeans. Yes, we're full of Africans. How don't we get it?
How don't we get it? How? Because we have so many people that don't want to think, that don't want to feel anything but la la land. They want to be in this whole la la land. They don't want to feel like anything is wrong. They want to continue on in their life and their daggone superficial. They want to live a superficial life. That's what it is. People want to live a superficial, mindless existence. That's the problem. And we've been fed through our daggone boob tube that that's the way to go. You know, father knows best and leave it to beaver. We want a superficial, the Cosbys, da 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 da. We want a superficial, happy existence. We don't want to be examining, deep thinking, and changing the way we see the world. That's too much like work, and that's too uncomfortable. But guess what? Now the world is forcing a change upon us that if we do not correct our thinking, we're going to be gone. Literally.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we're going to either be dead or pushed off this daggone continent, because trust and believe, the line is being drawn in the sand. So all these daggone African Americans that are saying they're African American and putting it on the census, all these blacks that are saying they're African American are putting them in line, lining themselves up with the Somalis and the Nigerians and the Kenyans. So when it comes time to say, you know what, we're in a economic depression, or this is two things there's a lot of things they could do. They could say because of the crisis of COVID, of Novid, that we have to decrease our numbers in America because the danger of having all these, or they could say the financial impact. But whatever the case, they could justify moving people off this damn continent. They could justify it.
So do you think that the people, that they have a big thing now where all these Negroes are going back to Africa? We're on the high end of abortion. We're getting into this LGBT stuff. Do you think that's part of ridding the planet of us?
There's always been a plan to rid the planet of us, but understand they don't really care for their own people either. They don't care for poor whites, and they don't care for us. It's an elite thing, and we got us just trying to get rid of us too. Don't think Jay-Z and Beyonce aren't saying, well, they gotta go, they just gotta go. Don't think that Oprah's not saying, well, if we gotta send to her. Don't think that there ain't people that look like us that ain't in on that table, making decisions and talking about, well, they may not be making decisions, but they compromising us. They're compromising us. Okay. So is it just us? Well, of course it's got to be us. That's why everything's got to be us, because this is our homeland. That's why all the focus has got to be on us. That's why 1619, they shoved that so hard. They went hard. Every daggone major news thing was talking about it. They had to get us in on our daggone "you're from Africa" pride, right? Okay, they want to do coming to America. They did Roots over again. They doing all this shit, trying to drum into our heads that we ain't from here. Okay. So now that even despite everything that they're doing, people are still waking up. They're waking up and they're discovering, wait a minute, this shit ain't making sense. This ain't making sense. And every day more and more people are getting it. Even to the point where the Moors, as daggone conflicted and foolish as they are, are actually getting it, and to a degree that's not healthy and not correct. But that people are getting it is still dangerous to the powers that be.
So where do you
fact,
think, where do you think all of this is going? This COVID.
Well, I'm thinking that things that we're winning. I'm kind of concerned with some of the indigenous people that talk about not voting or whatever. It's not that you don't. I mean, not voting is still voting. That's just stupid. So if you don't vote, just like nobody voted for Hillary, they didn't vote for Hillary, so they made Trump win. So you really voted for Trump, right? By just saying I'm sitting this out, they voted for Trump, right? So you can never say, "Oh, I ain't gonna vote." No, you still voting even if you don't vote, because your vote is one of the votes they counted on for. I mean, it's all bullshit anyway. It's all fake and shit. But there's some energy to it. There's an energy to the voting. There's an energy that is created by it. So when they don't have that energy, and when there's afraid of the flashback, it does create a certain power. What I feel is important, and what a lot of us feel is important, is that we control the energy. Don't just be like, if you just stand back, if you just, I say I ain't playing, you ain't using what you got. You got a power. If you just be neutral, you're not using that power. If you stand down, you're not using what you got. You don't have to agree, but you can use your power to make people that you may not agree with work with your agenda. And I feel like that's the way to go. But I also feel like that's already happening, because what's happening, I know this might sound like stupid, but I watched Bill Maher the other night, right? And Bill Maher is a major disappointment, because he usually is like very cutting edge about, politics, and he seems like a smart guy. But this COVID shit has fucked with him. It has fucked with him so much that he was looking, and then it's funny that Trump said he looked like shit, because it's true. It made him look, he's not an attractive person, but the fucking COVID, this whole having to lie and fake all this shit has fucked him up. So he was looking like a haggard motherfucker beyond belief. Like he aged like 20 years. So Trump was making fun of it. It's a fact. He was looking haggard as fuck. I think he got some fillers now. I don't know what the hell. But anyway, basically, he was on there, and he had the guy from the poor man's, the poor man's committee, or the poor man's movement, whatever that shit is. And I find that the most disgusting thing that you could ever say in life. Like, why would you want to be in any movement that calls you a poor person? Like, how is that going to elevate you? Who wants to be a poor person for life? Like, what the fuck? Like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, if you know anything about creating your reality, why would you want to create a reality of being a downtrodden poor person? And you're a damn minister. Like, what the fuck? That don't make no kind of sense. So anyway, this brother who is like, I don't understand his shit. But anyway, he was talking. He did say some things that made me feel hope, because he was saying, look, we at Poor People's whatever movement, we are looking for some who's going to try to change the outcomes for the people that are struggling. And they are both white, mostly white, but a lot of Negro people and white people are struggling. And this whole COVID and everything that's been done and decisions that have been made are impacting the poor people greatly. And we need people that are caring about that. And he was saying stuff like the Democrats used to talk about things that concern the poor people, but now they're not even talking about it. Yeah, they don't even give a fuck. That is what made Bill Maher look crazy. Okay. And that was like, that's when you're like, oh, this shit is fucking with the political overseer stars, right? So Bill Maher was looking so fucking uncomfortable, because he was like, yeah, he couldn't refute the fact that the Democrats don't act like they give a fuck about poor people right now, right? He couldn't deny that shit. He had no words, right? It put him in a fucked up position, right? Then Oliver Stone came on there. He was like, "Oh, I respect you, Oliver Stone. You got a new book out, blah 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 blah. What do you think about what's going on in politics? What do you think about the fact that the daggone Russians are all involved with daggone Trump and
Well, we're waiting for Lisa to come back, but what she's
the whole
talking about.
world cares about us so much?" He said they got their own problems. They don't care about the United States. And do you know all the false information that the feds put out there about what's really going on? I was like, he made Bill Maher once again look fucking crazy. Like he was like, shit. He said, he told Bill Maher, "I thought you were smarter than this." He said, "Come on." I was like, oh shit. Now Bill Maher is looking like the idiot that he has become by trying to play the stupid political game with the New World Order. He's looking crazy, as they all are, because they are following this New World Order agenda, and what you thought was Democrat is no longer Democrat, or what you thought was Democrat. Everything is showing it to be true. It is a whole different agenda. And
So
everybody's saying it. So now it's like all the cards are showing. It just takes people to actually watch it. Watch the daggone deck. And it's like it's everything's falling out. Like blah, 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 blah. Bill Maher's was on his show being checked by two people who are actually liberal and saying there's something ain't right in the Democratic Party. Can you believe all this stuff that's happening? And he had no words. So that in itself is showing you how their plan to push this agenda is falling apart. It's falling apart. He even talked about the daggone convention and how it was the worst, the slowest, the most boring, the nobody watched it. Da, da, da. I mean, come on, how are you gonna win like that? And that kind of thing is going to give us a chance to redirect things for us as a people. You see, because the Democrats ain't listening to us. I have reached out to the Democrats about them not recognizing indigenous people over and over again. Even today, somebody texted me about, "Are you voting for, you're a Democrat?" Da, da, da. I said, "I'm not a Democrat." And I said, "Let me tell you, I'm no longer a Democrat." And I went to a tirade over the fact that they do not recognize the fact that the people of America, the Negroid people of America, are the American Indians, and they sit up there. They're using pity and fear to scare people and to daggone oppress us, and Black Lives Matter to raise funds. And I said, I'm tired of that bullshit. We need to start talking to these people, really talk to them, really let the people, the powers know how we're thinking.
So when you talk about the groups we talked about earlier, the Kamala Harrises, look at where they come from, the Barack Obamas, look at where they come from. How is this whole situation that's going along? How does that help them and harm us?
Well, I mean, their help they've been having how many years of help now? Okay, so I would say the floodgates of the Hindus and Istanbuls and whatever, the Pakistanis, started in the 1980s, right? So the floodgates opened for them in the 1980s. They got people that now they got generations of people that were born here, or at least a generation. So I mean, it's already worked for them. They have a predominance of people that have gone through medical school, predominance of people who have gone through whatever school. But the bad thing is that the Europeans here find them to be not very smart and they're not as liked as the media likes to portray it. Although the media wants to put them on comedy shows and put them on movies and put them in commercials, in real life, people are kind of, they don't like these people. They're ingenuine, and they're robotic in nature in a way that, even though they may think they like robotic people, they don't really like these people. So I mean, they're not winning on a private way, but the media is trying to make it seem like the daggone Hindus and the Pakistanis are winning big. Okay, and then as far as the Nigerians and all them, people are over that with them all the way around. You know what I mean? They were used as a tool, and now they don't want them here anyway. You know, they weren't even effective. So I mean, their days are numbered, and the way I see these people dying, it looks like they're actually getting rid of a lot of folks. So I mean, the problem with this Kamala thing is that it just speaks of self-hate. The fact that we want to hold on to any little light skin, straight haired, any kind of resemblance to us as Negro and worship it, it just speaks to the sickness that's in our community that we need to heal. We don't love ourselves, and that we're going to sit there and say that her daddy's Jamaican. Well, her daddy was born not born in Jamaica. Her daddy moved to Jamaica, but there's no evidence that he is a Jamaican. He's not an indigenous Jamaican. She didn't marry an indigenous Jamaican. She married another Hindu. Her mom did.
Because
so I mean,
that's their culture, right?
That's their culture, and their culture is a caste culture, in which color is a very important thing, and racism is at the core of all this. They believe in oppressing and enslaving people. They actually, in the Hindu culture, believe that certain people are destined and born for slavery. That's part of their culture. That's part of their religion. So this is a person who will never see you as an equal, and who has been raised to feel like you are less than her and you don't deserve to have anything.
But I'm saying we're in the information age now. We're in the information age.
No, we're not.
What are we in?
No, we're not. We're in the dark motherfucking ages. We never left it. We're in the dark motherfucking ages. And people have whole computers in their hands, and they will not Google shit. You know what they'll Google? They'll Google who Justin Bieber's is dating. But they ain't gonna Google nothing that's worth knowing.
I stand corrected.
The ignorance that is permeating the world today is devastating.
So what do you see happening to the? Okay, so I like to use John Lewis because he's connected to that civil rights thing. What do you see? What do you see as 10, 15 years down the line, the indigenous people of America? Because I'm with you. Many of us have lost our damn minds.
Well, I think that we need to do what for I think we need to adopt some babies. Like when you're trying to build a family, let's say you're marrying this woman, she got 7 kids. Maybe, I know you love Claudine. Let's use that Claudine example. I'm gonna get you where your heart goes, okay, Carrie?
Uh-huh.
I know you like the Claudine example. Okay, so let's go back to Claudine. Claudine had what, 5, 6 kids or something like that, right? Claudine was fine as hell, but she had 5, 6 kids. And, but when you're trying to become a part of a family with a bunch of new kids, you have to love them up, like, buy them popsicles and overlook their assholeness and their behavior, right? He tried to, he ended up having to fight the son, but the son was trying to check him, but he still had to show compassion toward the pain that the oldest son had, and still support him. See, when you are trying to build a family, you have to love people in. You can't correct them in, because you ain't there yet. So as a people, as a very new family, because this indigenous family is an old family, but we're really a baby. We're a new family because we're just rediscovering each other. So we have to love each other into the game. Can't beat each other into the game. Can't be like these street games. You got to love each other in. So it means that you have to forgive them their weaknesses, forgive them their ignorance. You have to, coach them up. You got to compliment each other. You got to be generous with each other, giving spiritually, giving monetarily. You got to shut your damn mouth sometimes. You got to eat your words, even though you want to say nigga please, or did you really, or why? You just shut the hell up. You just got to shut the hell up sometimes. Because what's more important about us right now is our unity more than anything, in my opinion. We need to build up. We need to be on the same page, at least in a general form. In a general form, we're not going to be on the same page and everything. We are not. But generally speaking, we need to build a big number of people who are the indigenous Indian people of America. Okay, the Negroid indigenous Indian people of America need to be on that note. Okay, that we know who we are, that we know our history, that we agree that we've always been here, and that our genealogy is at the core of it. We have to understand that. And also, it doesn't hurt to embrace people that may not be on the same edge or may not be on the same political ticket as everything we do, but at least they are those they know who we are, and they are organizing themselves as being in. See, that is what it's going to take, because we can't afford to be fractured off. That's what they did to us. That's how they won in the beginning. They separated. Divide and conquer is everything. We can't afford to be divided. We got to lick our wounds and keep going. He called me so and such. He daggone disrespected my daggone ancestors. Fuck that. I know he did that. Okay. Yes, he did do that to me. So what? He's ignorant. Okay. He's insecure. Okay. I can't help what he said, but you know what? I can move on. I can move on if he can move on, and we can work this out. And maybe he want to keep his secrets and his stupid relationship he made with the government and their little government deals they made under the table. So what? These niggas are making government deals under the table. They gonna have to deal with that, because guess what? That shit's gonna bite you in the ass later. So don't get mad at them because they do that. And I don't think we should be ousting niggas because they doing that from uniting, because guess what? That shit's gonna fuck them up later. That's just stupid.
Right. But if we're kissing their ass in the mouth, that means we gonna get chipped too. And that's all.
I didn't say kiss their ass in the mouth. We just need to stand. No, we ain't gotta do that. We just need to stand in the same room. That's all we needed. We ain't gotta kiss each other. We just need to stand in the same room. That's all we need to do.
Stand in the room with them shines. Guess who they gonna bring in the room? They gonna bring in all. This is what I'm saying about the Greeks. This is what I'm saying about the Greeks and all these other people. You will really stab your grandmama in the back to be a fucking Greek? Are you serious? And then I'm supposed to be nice to those people while I see all the little kid just got killed? The shit we do, because we have so much confusion, and we always say, well, hey, let's just look.
I mean, I think as Indians, this is the thing. We have to look at something that's a little bit more serious than just what people do. We got to look at where their heart's at, because there are fucked up people, and we know that they're fucked up, and they fucked up in their hearts. And then there are people that have decent hearts, but their politics is fucking shady. Okay. And I feel like we should distinguish that, because people gonna do some things, strange things, for a little change or for a little political power. They do that, okay? But if their hearts are right and they're doing good things by their people, who I don't see how you can fucking fuck. You know, I don't think you can hate that. If it works for their people, fuck it. It ain't me.
Okay,
It,
explain
it,
that to
it,
me. Explain that to me. A more.
no, not a Moor. I'm not
No,
talking
no,
about Moors.
no.
Right now, I'm not even talking about Moors. Right now, I'm just talking about within the Indian community, the different Indians and all this different shit that people are doing. Like some person might be like, yeah, I got this. Okay, they may be doing shit. Different people. They be making little game. Oh, I'm talking to this politician and that politician, and they're making little deals, getting certain things done. And somebody else might think, oh, you a government, you trying to be your own form of government Negro. Well, that's fine. They probably are. Does that mean you oust that person because they making moves that maybe you don't feel is the right kind of move? I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think we should be fighting on that level.
No, I don't think we should be fighting at all. But I'm saying, if you're talking about bringing all your weapons and you about to fight these Europeans, and you got women and children out there, and you have a whole bunch of guns, and you're shooting each other, shouldn't we be more intelligent than that?
What do you mean?
I mean, you saw the brother. I mean, these cats who went up to Stone Mountain and had their weapons and stuff, and they had women and children out there.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't watch the news. What
Okay.
happened?
Okay.
When this happened?
So this was the 4th of July weekend.
Oh,
Somewhere
okay.
there, you had this these Negro, what do they call themselves? Militants.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna meet the Ku Klux Klan up at Stone Mountain, and it's just gonna be a big throwdown. Women, all these cats got weapons. Women or children are out there. Then somebody had a drone and was going high above, and you had all these Europeans on top of buildings and trees and all of that. That these Negroes didn't know what was going up. So this is what I'm saying.
Well, we can never get in a guns fight when we're not manufacturing weapons of mass destruction.
Shit.
So that's just stupid. Until you how you gonna fight with somebody and they got the daggone gun manufacturing plants and the daggone bomb manufacturing plants and the daggone plane manufacturing plants. Like, you're never gonna win. Like, we that was already done. Hello, that's how we ended up in the position we're in right now. Okay, we were outgunned. So, like, we're not gonna win in that. We have to do this is an intellectual and a spiritual battle. It's not a gun battle. Okay, so intellectually and spiritually, we have to vibrate at the highest level that we can. Okay, and that means that our love for one another has to rise above all the bullshit.
Say that one more time.
Our most important thing we can do, because this is a spiritual battle, and the most important thing we can do in a spiritual battle is to vibrate at the highest level possible. And the way that you vibrate at the highest level possible is that you work to have your love for each other has to outpace any other bullshit that's going on. You have to let that predominate. Your love is the most powerful thing, the most powerful vibration that you can have. So if you let that be the predominating thing that you emit from yourself to others, you let it outride your sarcasm, your criticisms, your observations. You let love predominate. We will win, because they can't handle that. Not from us, and not as powerful as our love is. That's why they don't want us writing love songs or singing love songs, because they want us to write about this bitch hoe and stupid shit and cars and fucking, and gunning each other down. Because when we vibrate in love, we can change this world. We will change the world. But we got to rise above the petty, and we got to rise above the daggone our differences. And we have to love the differences away.
Okay, so I don't see where any difference is because we're all in jail. I'm with Neely Fuller on that. We're all prisoners. So it's like you saying, some of us think we bourgeoisie, some of us think we whatever.
Right.
We all getting our ass kicked. Next, that's where I'm at.
We're all getting our ass kicked, are we?
Oh
no,
yeah.
No, I don't. You can't look at it like that because then you're in the poor people's fight again. If you think you're getting your ass kicked, then you getting your motherfucking ass kicked. But you shouldn't even think like that.
When I see all of us having to ask other people to feed us, when I see other people from other nations,
But guess what? That's not how you look at it. I don't see it like that. I see a lot of people for the first time gardening in their daggone apartments, gardening in their houses, growing their own shit, making their own shit. I see a lot of that happening. You gotta see the glass more than full. And the glass is more than full. People are doing things that they didn't do. People are going back to doing things that they haven't done in a long damn time or never did in their lifetime. People are learning how to can shit and trying to do things that their grandmamas had done. So, I mean, the more we actually embrace that and the more we move forward into doing those sort of things and surround ourselves with people who are doing that and encourage each other in doing that, baby, this is about winning. We about to win this. We about to win. You have to envision the win before you get to the win. You're not going to get there if all you see are obstacles. You got to see the victory.
Okay, well, we coming up on an hour and a half, and we about to shut it down. Okay. Mr. Hampton, any last words?
No, Lisa and y'all said enough. Y'all said enough. Thank you. I'm still learning. Thank you, Lisa.
We're all still learning.
I love you in a brotherly way. You hear me, sister? No, I'm still learning.
Yeah, we're all still learning. We're all still learning. And it's not easy, but we gotta believe in the best of us. If we don't believe in the best, the greatness that's in us, it ain't gonna rise up. We gotta see it, we gotta believe it, we gotta already visualize it. We gotta see these fuck niggas and these fuck boys and these girls that ain't got no sense act right. We got to see it. We got to visualize it. We got to see people waking up and getting their pride back and trying to get their minds right. We got to see all that. We got to visualize it. It's happening. It's happening. People are starting to check themselves in ways, and it may be the wearing a mask and maybe being alone for a while, but people are starting to think about things they weren't thinking about before. And you're finding people that probably never really want to think about anything, being open to conversations about their history, their heritage, what's going on politically in the world, what's wrong. They're open to talking about it. And like today, like on my bus back to the hotel, I got into a very open conversation about Indians and about this being our homeland. And the bus driver was getting all flustered and all uncomfortable and shit. But I like that. Because the more people who know and who get uncomfortable with it, they know that we're coming and that we're ready, and it ain't nothing they can do about it. And guess what? That is a spell within itself. When you start publicly talking about what we are doing, it becomes it. When you start saying we know who we are. This is our homeland. This world is about to change. We're about to, become empowered in a way. Honey, you cast the spells on their asses. Because they're sitting up there taking it in like, they are. And honey, our words got a power like nobody's. The whole world listens to our words. So let our words be the words that direct what happens. Just saying.
Lisa, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, Mike. And you hear what the sister said. Speak it into existence, y'all. Stop claiming foreign ideologies. Claim your own.
Right.
We're going to see you next time. Peace.
Bye.